Sig Sauer is an American company. It was a Swiss brand, but there is Sig Sauer USA. They make the rifles. You are correct about Elbit, but that's because Elbit bought Harris. So it's actually just the same American company and factory making night vision goggles. But sure, we do buy some stuff from Israel. Trophy is
Israeli weapons
but
industries is definitely Israeli.
I think more broadly, though, the interesting point here is pretty much every country in that region is armed by the U.S. Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Jordan. I mean, how long?
No, but he was talking about his neighbors. He wanted it to be a fair fight. Like, where do the Palestinians get? How long? He was comparing the people they were fighting with, not the Gulf Arab states.
How long has Jordan been a security partner of the U.S. for a very, very long time?
Yeah, but we're talking. He said he wanted to make it a fair fight
between Iran and Israel.
Are armed by Iran.
We're not talking about them.
I'm talking about Iran.
We were talking about Iran and Palestine. We're not talking about the other countries.
Broadly speaking, everyone in that region is armed by the U.S. or someone else except Iran.
Okay. So let's say Iran, right? What does Iran have? Hold up. Iran have 136 drones that they create. Okay, they have this missile. What is it called? The supersonic missile. They create that. They have a nuclear facility, right? They have a 136 drone, kamikaze. They have the Bavar tree.
There's no more nuclear facility. You have to start off the list that was eliminated yesterday.
No, just parts of it. They have the Fatah
nuclear facility.
Missile.
The nuclear facility's new pronouns were was, okay? Don't exist no more. Let's move on.
So Pepe, you were incorrect. They make their own weapons. They use it.
I said, well, first we're talking about Palestine, but if you want to talk about Israel, sure. If you want to talk about Israel, well, I know they had some like F-15s and maybe F-14 Tomcats or some shit that was left over from the Shah
at Tel Aviv.
Yeah, so I mean, you guys. That's why you guys can't intercept any of the new 5th generation fighters that go into your into the Iranian airspace and bomb shit at will. Like, you guys can't do anything about it.
But Pepe, you were wrong. You said they don't create weapons. They use their weapons.
Sure. Yeah, they had like 19. Yeah, that's we were making over half a century ago.
That's a different argument. You said they don't create weapons. They're using their weapons right now.
Okay, Israel. Yeah, but Israel creates more advanced weaponry than Iran does. What the fuck are you talking about?
Stop giving them U.S. taxpayers money.
So why is Israel asking for U.S. help? You know,
why? I can be against, like I said, just because I'm against giving Israel money does not mean that I'm going to take like Iran's side. They're a bunch of fucking assholes.
You don't have to.
Nobody fucking likes them.
You don't have to. But just to answer your question, you said Israel create stuff. They're amazing.
Yes, they create shit. They create modern shit.
Yeah, but
they create modern shit. Iran does not create modern shit. That is a fucking fact. In fact, Israel creates shit that other first world countries and first world militaries will utilize their fucking equipment. That is not the same. Cannot be said for fucking Iran. Nobody uses their fucking shit that lives in the first world.
Israel don't need your help. In other words, they don't need your help.
But Iran relies on China.
I can also create a nuclear weapon.
And so the reality works, and we know that. We know that if we put out of the Middle East, our enemies will nevertheless poke their noses in and try to make that space their space and control it. And that's why we have to be involved, Joe.
Yeah.
And that's why you should be thinking about what the U.S. wants.
So which country has Chinese military in the area?
Now, what the U.S. wants is Israel there.
Americans won't answer.
So you should want Israel there.
Joe, you keep on bringing up how but Israel has to use their stuff. Israel has to use their stuff. Like the reality is though is that even if you look at Ukraine, for example, what did we do to Ukraine? We gave them a bunch of fucking basically modern weapons to help fight against Russia. That's normal for countries that are allies.
Aaron, you give Israel the most
Nobody
money
gives
of all
a
the
flying
countries.
curry what you have to say, Aaron. Be quiet.
Yeah, because Jews don't like.
Will you shut your fucking cheap mouth, Aaron? Jesus Christ.
I'm recording
Matt, can you drop Aaron?
Because